here are your officials for tonight's game. Michael Duff, Sam McNeach, and the crew chief is Scott Rich. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise if you are able and join Heather Power in the singing of our national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to meet your starters for the visiting Kitchener-Waterloo Titans. Number 1, Darren Duncan. Number 9, Trevor Sutherland. Number 11, Ahmad Starks. Number 35, Derek Hall. Number 55, Russell Bird. And the Titans are led by their head coach, Serge Langes.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Mile 1 Center for St. John's Edge Basketball. My name is Steve Power, and I will be bringing you the play-by-play of tonight's game. Usually joined in the booth by Doug the Professor Partridge. He's out molding the minds of young youth in Newfoundland and Labrador and doing a clinic on the other half of the province. So I'm going to fly solo for tonight's game, a rematch. Up here tonight, the Kitchener-Waterloo Titans in town. Last night, a very, very entertaining affair. The Edge pulling out a 110-103 victory. The Edge, with a victory tonight, can jump into a tie for the league lead in the standings. But it will be a tall task this evening, as tonight they got to do it without their leading scorer and second leading scorer in the league, Carl English, not in the lineup tonight. Carl suffered what's being called an upper body injury last night. We did see at one point in the game, Carl led off the floor and he was leaking. The trainer did a great job to get him back out there into the game. And Carl, like the warrior he is, gutted it out and still made contributions in the stands. Alex Johnson with his pre-game ritual with the fans that he'll go through all the time. Edge trying to keep it rolling here at mile 1. 6-1 here in this great city of St. John's. Kitchener-Waterloo looking to spoil the party, and they will once again be looking, no doubt, to Derek Hall. Hall was the offensive weapon last night and did a great job on the offensive boards. So, from the tip-off, ball will be controlled by Kitchener-Waterloo. It's Duncan. Duncan seemed to tire at the end of the game last night, played a ton of minutes in the early on part. And this St. John's Edge team, they pride themselves on depth, and that's been helping them so far in the second half of almost every game we've seen here at mile 1. First shot of the game is going to go to Ahmad Starks, and he drops it just inside the three-point line. That'll be a 2. Desmond Lee, Grandy Glaze, Alex Johnson, Charles Hinkle, and drawing into the starting lineup in the absence of Carl English is Tyler Haas. There's a nice feed by Johnson down to Glaze to tie the game up. Tyler Haas shot the proverbial lights out here at mile 1 last night. 7 for 9 from the floor. So Haas drawing into the lineup, trying to, big shoes to fill. Probably can't replace English, but certainly going to be an offensive weapon here for St. John's. Here's Bird now. Bird on the outside, flicks it over for Duncan. Duncan's guarded by Johnson. Duncan tried to drive the lane. Grandy Glaze was there, though, and he caused a lot of chaos on that one. Grandy Glaze, the leading rebounder in the NBL, and the team won. Here's Hinkle, wide open look for 3, and Hinkle hoops. Hinkle drops it from downtown on that one. Opens up a 5-2 lead for the Edge. Last night, Kitchener-Waterloo really came out on fire to start. Edge seemed to be a lot more aggressive on defense here early going in the first few possessions down the floor. Duncan for Bird. Bird guarded on the outside by Glaze. Bird trying to go down. A little bit of separation on a bump there, but good defense by Glaze. And I tell you what, folks, you can't say Grandy Glaze is not hungry for those rebounds. He wants it. Alex Johnson, a little bit off on that shot. That one's going to float out of bounds. And Kitchener-Waterloo will come back. Duncan trying to get some separation there from Johnson. Duncan puts it in deep. Ball is almost stolen by Hinkle. Ball is out of bounds, though I believe that ball will stay into the possession of Kitchener-Waterloo. Hinkle's foot was on the out-of-bounds line. Shot clock doesn't change. Only 9 seconds remain on it. Kitchener-Waterloo with the inbounds play. 9:47, early stages, first quarter, 5-2 for the Edge. Starks guarded by Desmond Lee. Lee posting up on Starks. Here's a nice move to the basket there by Starks. He gets fouled on his way in, and he'll go to the line to shoot a couple. First foul of the game going to be tagged to Desmond Lee. That's going to send Ahmad Sparks to the line to shoot 2. And the Boo Birds out at mile 1, they're certainly going to be giving the gears to anybody with a blue shirt tonight in the foul line. Real good crowd here at mile 1 last night. Last night they tipped 4,000. Tonight, just looking at the stands and where people are sat here tonight, they're going to be well over 4,000 here tonight. Great job here by the city of St. John supporting this squad. And these guys can play. Get on down to mile 1. Catch the action. Some of the best bang for the buck here in the city of St. John's for sure. Alex Johnson penetrates down low, looking to get it for Lee. There's a foul away from the ball. It's going to go against Kitchener. Inbounded for St. John's. They've still, shot clock will reset to 14. Lots of time for St. John's to work with it. Nice inbound play there, and Desmond Lee gets the wide open look, and he'll gingerly lay that one off the glass for St. John's. Starks trying to kick it outside for Bird to Duncan, down for Sutherland in the corner. Good ball movement by the Titans, just can't get the shot off. Noticeable difference tonight. Starks the guy holding the ball and controlling most of the play here for Kitchener. Starks with a nice penetration move there. Last night it was Duncan. Tonight it seems to be Starks. Kitchener with two very gifted point guards. Glaze, good strong move to the glass, and Grandy Glaze has come to play tonight, folks. Big 55, looking strong early on. Bird down low for Sutherland. Sutherland gets a wide open look, and nice shot there by Sutherland. Haas a little bit too late coming over there to pick him up. 9-9, both teams tit for tat coming down the floor. Johnson out for Hinkle. Hinkle's guarded by Bird. Hinkle puts the ball to the floor. Looks to penetrate. Gets a little separation. Hinkle goes up. Big rebound there by Desmond Lee. And Lee's got a knack for that. He's not there, and all of a sudden, poof, there he is. A la Harry Houdini underneath the basket, and he puts it down. Starks with an open look. He can't get that one to drop. Charles Hinkle's going to grab the rebound. Puts it into the hands of Johnson. Pass is a little bit too far for Lee. He just had to throw it back, couldn't get it in. Sutherland outside for Duncan. Duncan, that's great ball movement there by the Titans. As Sutherland had nowhere to go, kicks it outside for Darren Duncan, and he nails the open tray. Ransford Bemprong up to his feet now. He's getting ready to check into the game. Here's a nice feed from Johnson to Haas, and Haas slashes down through. And you can certainly tell St. John's what they are working on in practice, transferring into the games. Coach Dunlap's got to like what he sees on that particular play. Here's Bird with an open look, and Bird sits it from down. St. John's need to be aggressive on defense as Kitchener-Waterloo shooting the lights out here early on at mile one. Ball moved around now for Glaze. Glaze picks it up. Glaze out for Hinkle. Shot clock down to 5. Hinkle on low for Johnson. Johnson fouled on the body. Kitchener bench not happy with that one, but he certainly was fouled on the body. They did get all ball on the hand for sure, but nothing going there as Johnson will go to the line. Chance to tie the game up. 6:52 left to go in the opening quarter. Both teams playing well here in this second of back-to-back games here at Mile One Center on a Saturday night in balmy St. John's. Never mind Florida, folks. Come on down to St. John's, Newfoundland. 14 degrees at game time here tonight. Folks, I'm 46 years old. I cannot remember it ever being 14 degrees in January in my lifetime. Starks. He loses the dribble, so he will gingerly move it over for Duncan. Duncan comes over to pick it up for Starks. Here's Duncan. Duncan down low for Starks. Starks to the outside for Sutherland. Sutherland had an open look, but Haas got there and gave him just enough grief to throw him off for 1 second. He misses. Johnson now. Johnson's going to settle things down. Bemprong comes out and picks it up. Bemprong. Ransford Bemprong. He's going to take a shot, but that's from quite a ways away. And that one's going to fall short. Kitchener-Waterloo will take possession. Starks coming down the floor. Johnson guards Stark. Bemprong is on Hall. So far it's been the point guards. As I say that, they kick it into Hall. Hall with the baby hook. Gets it up and over Bemprong. Just about to mention they haven't involved Hall much in the old broadcaster's curse. As soon as you mention it, it happens. Hinkle on the outside for Haas. Haas trying to find a little open space. Haas, good drive there. Penetration right down the lane. Tyler Haas drives it down Water Street right to the hoop for the basket. Duncan up top. We see Rashawn Brodus getting ready to check in the game, along with Wally Ellenson. Coach Dunlap in his usual modus operandi. This is around the time where he goes to his bench. 17-16 for Kitchener-Waterloo. Foul goes against St. John's. Substitutions will come into the game. And actually, we will have a timeout here with 5:31 left to go. 1 point game. Kitchener-Waterloo 17, St. John's 16. Timeout over. Lots of colorful characters here at Mile 1 tonight. And we'll get a shot of them on our webcast for you later on. The guys, I believe they're come all the way from Kitchener to see the game. Dressed up in their finest attire on a Saturday night here at Mile 1. We'll get a shot of them for you later on. 5:25 left to go. 1 point ball game. Bird kicks it in for Rogers. Rogers checking into the game. Good inside threat for Kitchener-Waterloo. Hinkle will grab the rebound on the Rogers miss. Down low for Bemprong. Bemprong spins away from Rogers. Gets a sky hook up. Can't get it to drop though. Ball is kept out by Kitchener-Waterloo, but given back to St. John's. Ellenson drives to the lane. Ellenson, lots of contact there. Big rebound by Bemprong. Rogers swats it out of his hand, goes out of bounds. Coach Dunlap standing up to let him know what play he wants run for St. John's. Ellenson now on the inbounds. Rashawn Brodus also checking into the game. Bemprong with the shot, and that's a sweet release from the big guy down there. He'll sink the 12-footer. Put a little bit of jam on that one. That one looked real nice going through. Duncan outside for Sutherland. Sutherland now in for Rogers. Derek Hall on the game, so Rogers having to do the grunt work down below the basket, and he does so. Backs up Bemprong and gets it to drop for two. Rashawn Brodus now. Brodus up the floor. Brodus kicks one in for Bemprong. Bemprong out top, wants to find Haas. He does so. Tyler Haas. Haas. Bemprong off the screen. Bemprong, good strong move to the basket, and he'll go to the line there. Great little find there for Tyler Haas as the old pick and roll works to its perfection there for St. John's.
Personal foul on the Titans, number 55, Russell Bird. His first. The Titans' third foul of the first quarter.
Another substitution coming to the game. Now business is going to pick up as Jarian Jackpot Henry checks in. And you want an instant shot of life? Here it is in the form of number 7. Bemprong at the line, his first shot. A sweet release there. And that looks rather easy for the big guy at the line. All set now for his second. On the second shot, Bemprong once again drops it down, and St. John's will take the lead again. Back and forth affair, 20-19 for the Edge. 4:05 remain here in this opening quarter. Duncan with the fake penetrating drive. Duncan loses the dribble down low for Rogers. Rogers can pick that one up, though. Great defense there by Ransford Benprong on Rogers. Hall's going to check back into the game, and instantly the Kitchener-Waterloo Titans just get bigger as Bird comes out for Derek Hall. Hall, one of the leading rebounders in the NBL, in the top 4. Grandy Glaze sitting at number 1. Brodus just inside the three-point line. He tries a shot. That one's going to catch iron and fall back. Down for Sutherland. Sorry, that's Rogers on the drive. Rogers goes hard to the basket. Henry couldn't quite get there in time. He'll take the blocking foul. And Rogers will go to the line with 3:36 remaining here in the opening quarter. A little bit of a hush over the building tonight. I got to think people are shocked, or everybody must be asking, where is Carl English tonight? And they'll be looking for a while down there. Carl sustained an injury last night, what is being called an upper body injury. We did see him leave the game to get his nose. It was all bloodied up at one point, but he did get fixed up and managed to finish the game. So a Warrior is Carl. Needs a little night off. That's going to happen. And Vasily Kurchik comes into the game. He's going to take out Benprong. So with the exception of Jaron Skeet, who I'm sure we'll see pretty soon, Coach Dunlap has emptied the bench here in the first quarter. Ellenson, guarded by Sutherland, kicks it outside for Haas. Haas leaves it for Ellenson. Henry wants the ball. Henry posted up by Hall, though. Henry into the paint. Henry trying to fake Hall. Can't get the big guy up. And a 24-second shot violations call. Henry did get the shot to drop, but couldn't beat Hall. Hall wouldn't. Henry shucked. He jived. He bobbed. He weaved, but he could not get the big guy off his feet. Chance for Kitchener-Waterloo to open up a little bit more of a lead. Back and forth affair here. Both teams playing pretty well so far tonight. Kurchik helps out on that penetration move. Can't put it down. He moved across for Sutherland. Sutherland in for Hall. Hall with a nice feed for Sutherland. Sutherland goes hard to the hoop. Misses. Ball comes back into the hands, though, of Waterloo, and Hurt will drain the two-point shot. Brodus for Henry. Henry puts the ball to the floor. Henry down for Kurchik. Kurchik, he'll take an open look. Kurchik draws iron on that shot, though. And St. John's coming up a little bit dry on the last couple of possessions down the floor. Kitchener with a chance to take their biggest lead of the night. 2:33 left to go. Kitchener 23, St. John's 20. Foul called against St. John's. Looked like it's going to go to Vasily Kurchik. That'll be St. John's 4th team foul of the quarter. Both teams not a really rough game right now. Good battles down low for position. Certainly nothing you would call overly aggressive or anything like that. Shooting very well are the Kitchener-Waterloo Titans here early on in this one. They're 8 of 14 from the field and 3 of 5 from the three-point line. Rogers kicks it outside. Another 24-second violation call. That's our third one of the quarter. 2 for the Edge and 1 for the Titans. So both teams' defense tightening up here in this first quarter, and that's something Coach Dunlap's going to like to see. Ball in for Henry. Henry's going to inbound it to Brodus. Brodus takes it up the floor, going to put it in for Vasily Kurchik. He's just going to leave it for Brodus. Brodus trying to find a stream. Nice little penetration move by Brodus. Brodus to Kurchik. Kurchik goes up and he takes the foul. And Henry, once again, he's under the basket in a spot where he can bring it, but he dishes to Kurchik. Nonetheless, the big guy's going to go to the line for St. John's, and you can tell Coach Dunlap, he wants Jarian to shoot that ball or bring it to the rack. And so do the fans. They'd love nothing better but see Jerry and Henry throwing down hard. Kurcic, 1 of 1 from the line, looking to sit number 2. There it goes. Under 2 minutes now. And a back and forth seesaw affair here at mile 1 tonight. You're missing a good one if you're not down here. Starks outside for Hall. Hall's going to put it inside for Rogers. Rogers got a little bit of an open look there. Kurcic didn't have his hands up, and Rogers takes advantage. Brodus, the floor general, marching down the floor for St. John's. Brodus, quick transition there. Brodus to the basket. Big block there by Rogers. Brodus looking for goaltending, but Rogers with some quality defense there for Kitchener-Waterloo. Full marks to that young man. Hurt, foul from behind by Henry, and Hurt will go to the line with 1:11 left to go.
Personal foul on the edge, number 7, Jerry and Henry. His second, the edge is 5th foul in the first quarter. Substitution for the edge, number 24, Charles Hinkle.
Hurt at the line. He'll finish off the play-in 3-point lead restored again here for Kitchener-Waterloo. Brodus down inside for Hinkle. Hinkle's check back in the game. Hinkle turns, fires, and he'll drop it. Up top. Hurt will take it down the floor. Hurt's looking to put it into the hands of Starks. Starks the only true point guard out there for Kitchener. Starks penetration outside for Hall. Hall didn't get both feet planted. He'll go for a little walkie-talkie, and the referee's there to call traveling. Desmond Lee now. Lee drives to the loop. Lee took some contact from Hall. Hall didn't get him with the hands. Certainly got him with the body, though. Play continues, and coming down the other way is Morrow. Morrow couldn't get it to drop, but Derek Hall behind with the flush, and that opens up the biggest lead of the quarter for Kitchener at 5 points. Last shot of the quarter. That should go to St. John's. Shot clock and game clock about a 1 second different. Here's Rashawn Brodus. Brodus up top in for Hinkle. Hinkle posted up on the big fella. He don't really like that matchup. Hinkle got to look for 3. Gets the inside iron, though. Can't get it to fall. Starks at the end. He'll throw up a Hail Mary shot. That won't fall. But a good opening quarter for the visitors here. After 1, Kitchener-Waterloo Titans 29, the St. John's Edge 24. We'll be back for the call of the second quarter. Second quarter underway. St. John's find themselves down by 5 here. Glaze is checked back into the game. Glaze for Hinkle. Hinkle drives. Hinkle puts up a circus shot. Gets that one to roll. Hinkle looking for a foul on that one. Just good, strong defense by Kitchener, but Hinkle got it to drop nonetheless. Here's Hurt now. Hurt. He's going east to west, north and south, going all the way around the floor. Good into Hall. Hall under the basket. Gets a tip. Hall. Strong on the boards there is Derek Hall. Morrow takes it. Ball's out of bounds, though, as Hinkle goes down for it. That will be Kitchener-Waterloo ball. Derek Hall, tough man to keep off that glass. And he just got 2 tapbacks on offense. Starks penetrates, kicks it out for Rogers. That is a sweet dish from Starks to Rogers there for Kitchener-Waterloo. Glaze looked like he was going to drive it right down Main Street there. He pulls up, kicks it outside for Hinkle. Hinkle wide open for a 3 ball, and he will drop that one certainly more often than not. Inside, Hinkle denies the pass in for a Hall. Ball sent down the floor for Haas. Haas pulls up, and he's fouled on the 3-point attempt. Tyler Haas will get an opportunity to go to the line to shoot 3. St. John's crawl back to within 2. Chance for Haas to take the lead from the charity stripe here for the Edge. Once again, big crowd on hand tonight, and they're getting treated to a nice back and forth affair here at Mile 1 Center. St. John's Edge basketball. The Edge currently sitting with the record of 10-5. Could move into a tie with London with a win tonight. And the Kitchener-Waterloo lightens. The Titans sitting down with a record of 2-10. But folks, I tell you what, this does not look like a 2-10 team. These guys can flat out play. Haas comes up empty on an offering from the line. Gonna give it another shot here. And that one will drop. All tied up at 31. 10:35 left to go in the second quarter. Titans back down the floor with the ball. Long shot attempt there by Starks, and that's his second one. He's hit from way outside, and they're tough to defend there. If you're about 7-8 feet beyond the 3-point line, boy, you got to give the young man credit there. Lee for Glaze. Glaze looking to put it back into the hands of Lee. Lee out for Hinkle. Hinkle almost lost the dribble, managed to get it back. Hinkle comes in, kicks it out for Haas. Haas catches, shoots, can't get it to drop though. And rebounded by Morrow. Sorry, that's Arsenal. Starks, another long 3 ball. Someone's got to tell Mr. Starks he can move in a few feet. But he don't need to. He might be shooting from center next. Here's Johnson. Johnson spin move to the basket and gets it to drop for the and 1. Alex Superman Johnson puts his cape on and flies to the air for the Edge.
Personal foul on the Titans, number 15, Kyle Arsenal. His first, the Titans' second foul of the second quarter.
Ahmad Starks 2 for 4 from 3-point land, but those 2 are from way outside. Checking in early. Starks leading scorer for Kitchener. Charles Hinkle leading the way for St. John's. No surprise, as Hinkle and English have been doing it all year for their squad. Here's Starks, another long distance shot, and that one comes up way short, and that's not too surprising, as I think he might be trying to see how far he could go. Johnson for Hinkle. Hinkle guarded by Arsenault. Hinkle pulls up. Can't get it to drop, though. The old saran wrap on the basket trip there, as that one seemed to roll in and out. Morrow drives to the hoop. We're going to have a foul here from behind, I believe. And that's going to send Morrow to the line to shoot 2. 9:06 left to go. 37-34. Kitchener-Waterloo over St. John's.
His first foul of the second quarter.
Morrow sinks the first one, going to come back for number 2 now. And Morrow drops it from the line. 5-point lead regained for Kitchener-Waterloo. The Titans in blue, the Edge in white. Alex Johnson settling things down, moving it out for Tyler Hawes now. Hawes is guarded by Hurt. Hawes steps off a double team on top. Ball is put inside. Randy Glaze is fouled from behind there by Morrow. And that'll be the 3rd team foul of this quarter. Still 8:49 left to go. The Titans got to be careful. You don't want to get into the bonus too early against St. John's. St. John's generally a pretty good foul shooting team. Speaking of shooting, there's Tyler Hawes. Hawes drops the 2-pointer from about 12 feet out. Tyler Hawes, as of last night, all of a sudden found his touch in a big way here for St. John's. Hall double teamed on the inside, out for Hurt. Hurt drops the 3. That's the way it's supposed to be. Throw it into the big man. He gets double teamed. He picks it to the open guy, and he drops the 3. And that's just what the coach wants to see. Glaze, that's a difficult drive to the basket. Good defense there by Derek Hall. Little note to St. John's, you might not want to be challenging Hall too much. He's defensively solid as a rock for Kitchener. Ball's kicked to the outside now for Hurt. Hurt's guarded by Lee. Lee does a good job staying with Hurt. Ball's kicked out for Arsenault on the outside. Arsenault draws iron though, and the rebound is pulled down by Hinkle for St. John's. Johnson to Hinkle to the outside to Hawes. Hawes throws an inside for Glaze. Glaze out for Hinkle. Hinkle trying to challenge Hall. Hinkle does. Goes to the basket. Lee snuck in there from behind again and grabbed the rebound. And Lee got fouled from behind there. Desmond Lee, he's not the biggest guy on the floor, folks. But I tell you what, he's got a knack for getting in the right position to pull down those boards. Brand new shot clock for St. John's at 24 after the foul. Here's Johnson. Johnson, he's going to be the general here for the Edge. Patrolling up top, outside for Hinkle. Hinkle's got an open look, and he'll drop the 3 ball. And Charles Hinkle is on point tonight for St. John's. That's his 3rd 3-pointer from 4 attempts. Derek Hall out to Morrow. Morrow trying to find Bird. Bird's battling for position with Hinkle on the inside. Starks up top. He's got Hall coming out way outside for the pick to Starks. Starks throws it down for Bird. Bird in the corner, and they don't miss again. The Titans doing what it takes from 3-point land. They're 7 for 11 from beyond the arc. Hinkle down low outside for Lee. Desmond Lee's first 3-point offering. That one's a little too deep. And that catches the back of the rim, bounces out. Stark's going to come back down the floor, and he'll just give it back to St. John's as that one bounces free right into the hands of Hinkle. Johnson now back down the floor for the Edge. Johnson for Glaze. Glaze looking to kick it outside. Little bump on the body there. Morrow's going to pick up that foul as Desmond Lee was upended. 6:22 left. 6-point lead for the Titans. Their biggest of the game so far. But that is nothing to this St. John's Edge team. Here's Johnson. Johnson out for Lee. Lee to Hinkle. Johnson now. Johnson, good crossover. Got a move on Starks. Another 24-second shot clock violation, though. That one goes against the Edge. Good team defense by the Titans. Ransford Bempong coming into the game. He's going to take out Glaze, the 1-2 punch of St. John's. Set up there. We see Jerry and Henry up off his feet now. He's going to check in. We'll either think he'll be taking out Des Lee or Charles Hinkle. Have to wait and see. Here's Bird now. Bird up top, puts it for Starks. Haven't seen a whole lot of dunking tonight. Starks has been the man for the Titans. Sutherland in. Sutherland goes loop. He's going to draw the foul, more than likely off Lee. So Sutherland will go to the line to shoot 2 with 5:43 remaining. And his team up by 6. Henry is going to take out Charles Hinkle. And Jaron Skeet going to make an appearance here. And got to think Skeet will be taking out Johnson. And Jaron Skeet checks in, and we get the familiar Skeet chants here from the faithful. Timeout called. 5:43 left to go. Pretty odd there after so many substitutions. Then the timeout, but obviously the coach needs to discuss something. We'll have to find out what adjustments are being made, and we'll be right back.
All right. Which St. John's Edge player has a video blog called Hinkle Loops? Charles Hinkle, correct. We got one. Ooh, last word. Yeah, that's right. That's the spirit. What is Alex Johnson's nickname? The Croc. Superman. Yes, we got two. Darian Henry is a Drew League champion. What is the name of his team from 2017? Birdie's Revenge, you're so smart. He's got three. What NCAA Division I university did both Tyler Haas and Rashawn Broadus play for? Yes, yes. We've got four. Which three Edge players were members of the Canadian national basketball team? You're going to look up. There's multiple choices there. You let me know.
That's Grandma and Blaze.
Do you have that? Ooh, he's got it. He's got it. Fire for fire. Ready, give it up. Big Charles wants one man. Yes, Johnson, ready, go. Yes. The St. John's Edge would like to thank Telegram for sponsoring tonight's game crew.
Tremere Sutherland at the line. He's going to sink the first of his two offerings. And the Kitchener-Waterloo Titans not showing any hangover from last night's loss here on a Friday night in St. John's. Jaron Skeet into the game. Skeet kicks it outside for Johnson. That shot is going to bounce over the back tube, and that will go out of bounds. St. John's will take it. So we've got Johnson, Skeet, Des Lee, Bemprong, and Jarian Henry on the floor here for the Edge.
Substitution for the Titans. Number 1,
Darren Duncan back in the game. He's going to give Starks a little bit of a breather. Starks done a great job for the Titans in this one so far. Morrow in low for Hall. Hall gets the open look to the rim, and he won't make any mistake there. And Hall goes up and under for the easy deuce. Johnson up top. Johnson wants Skeet to come out for the ball. Johnson holds on. Good defense there. Johnson sends around to pick from Henry. Out for Bemprong. Henry goes to the basket. Henry can't get that one to drop, and away comes Morrow. Morrow back out for Bird. Bird to Hall. Hall will find the hands of Duncan. Duncan up top. Duncan trying to spin around. There's Bird for the open look. Bird a little bit short on that one. Rebound into the hands of Bird. He couldn't hold on. Des Lee comes back in transition. Lee up. Gets it to drop, but the referee says no to that and one. And all St. John's coaches up here. The Boo Birds make an appearance at Mile 1 tonight. Des Lee cannot believe that's an and one. And Des, I'm with you, big fella. But that's the way she goes. Substitution call in. And actually, you know, so I got to give the official credit here now. He's handling this very well. The St. John's coach is upset. He's putting on a little bit of a show out there on the floor. But it's one of those things. The call is made. That's it. He's not going to change his mind. Great effort there by Des Lee, all the same. Inbound to Henry. Henry trying to spin around Bird. Henry caught underneath, almost threw it away, but Des Lee managed to reach out and grab it. Still 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Bemprong is going to try a long one for St. John's. Not sure if he knew how much time was left there. But the Titans on a little bit of a run here in this second half. Duncan was upended there by Bemprong. The big fella got lucky not to be called there. Bird, he shook off Henry pretty good. Driving to the lane, but Bemprong was there for the help. Johnson, he's fouled out high. And that'll be the 6th foul. So next foul for the Titans is going to put St. John's into the bonus. St. John's Vasily Kurcic going to check into the game for Bemprong. 3:55 left to go. A 9-point lead for the Titans here in the second quarter. Skeet now in for Henry. Henry isolated on the outside, in for Kurcic. Kurcic in the paint, trying to get up. Kurcic with the left hand doing the hook. Lee comes in from behind. We've got a foul, not quite sure where it's going to be. And Des Lee is finally going to get his trip to the line, it seems. Once again, Desmond Lee, he is greasy quick coming in from the outside for those rebounds. Brodus checks in the game. St. John's going, can't say it's a real small lineup because they've got Kurcic and Henry out there. But 3 guards, Brodus, Skeet, and, no, Des Lee's still in. I thought Johnson was here. So, pretty typical lineup for St. John's. Lee hits his shot from the line. St. John's trying to stop the bleeding a little bit here in this second quarter. Duncan. Steal there possibly by Kurcic. Too bad for St. John's. Kurcic did a good job getting his hand there. Hurt wide open in the corner. He draws iron though, and Henry does a good job going up and grabbing that rebound. Lee in transition. Down to the line. Couldn't get it to drop though. And once again, Desmond Lee is going to get to the line. And folks, got to say it, in this series, overall, St. John's best player, certainly in my opinion, been Desmond Lee. Lee to the line. He will sink his first shot. That all started on the rebound by Jerry and Henry. Good transition. And Desmond Lee, fearless, driving it down the lane. Lee a little short on the second shot. Hurt will grab the rebound for Kitchener-Waterloo. Good penetration there by Duncan. And Duncan, unmolested, goes all the way to the basket. And that's a quick answer for Kitchener. Down for Kurcic now. Kurcic getting some quality minutes here for St. John's. And that's a great effort there by Des Lee. Lee's out of bounds. Just throws the ball at Sutherland, who was actually on the line. So that is a good move there by Desmond Lee, keeping that one alive. Henry's going to check out for Charles Hinkle back into the game. Hinkle, little wide open look right off the inbounds, and Hinkle will make that shot pretty easily for St. John's. Sutherland posting up on Skeet. Sutherland tries to kick it outside. Desmond Lee with the steal. Skeet leads the charge down the line. Skeet outside for Hinkle. Hinkle, 3-ball, gets it to drop. Charles Hinkle hoops Hinkle. And St. John's with a great answer back, bringing to within 3. Timeout. Kitchener-Waterloo. We'll be right back.
He has been a member of the NLBA Board of Directors from 2010 through 2012. He has served as the chair of the NLBA Hall of Fame Induction Committee from 1999 to 2013. Through all of this, he has consistently raised funds for provincial athletes who were not able to participate in the game without financial help. At Trans, please join us in recognizing Mr. Joe Lake as a community hero. Thank you, Joe, and all you do to assist the youth of our province.
50-47, Kitchener-Waterloo Titans over to St. John's Edge here. 2:44 left to go in the opening half. The Edge found themselves down by a bucket load at one point in this half, have managed to go on a nice little run to come back, courtesy of Charles Hinkle. Duncan for Kitchener, Duncan in for Bird. Hall out of the game now for Kitchener-Waterloo. Duncan wide open from the foul line, just couldn't get that one to drop. Edge a little fortunate there. Here's Brodus. Brodus up top waiting for a switch down low, looking for Hinkle, no doubt. Brodus drives the lane. Brodus comes through. Nice drive down the lane for Rashawn Brodus. And he puts a little bit of English on that ball to get it to drop. St. John's within one. Hurt threatened to take a three shot. Here's Tremar Sutherland from the corner. Sutherland can't get that one to drop. And St. John's now with an opportunity to come back and possibly take the lead. Desmond Lee matched up on Rogers up top. We got an offensive foul. That's going to get called on Kirchich. Everybody wondering where it may have came from. Referee saw it. And the ball will be turned over. Coming back down the floor will be Kitchener-Waterloo. Ahmad Starks checks back into the game. Starks been an offensive weapon for the Titans so far here tonight. And Grandy Glaze is going to take out Kirchich for St. John's. Hurt. Down low to Rogers. Rogers to the outside. Ends up falling to the hands of Starks. Starks over for Duncan. Duncan gets one to drop there. Couldn't hit the one from the foul line, but he puts one in from beyond the arc. And that's a nice bucket for the Titans. Brodus in for Glaze. Glaze almost looked like he was going back to Brodus and elects to go to Hinkle instead. Hinkle puts the ball to the floor. Hinkle looking for a little separation. Nice floating shot there by Charles Hinkle. He comes back. Desmond Lee getting a warning now from the official about leaving the ball alone after the basket. Lee got a big smile on his face, and that's a pretty good job by the official there. Give him his warning, let him know. No more. Don't want anything getting out of hand here. I really like the job here by the officials there tonight. Here's Duncan. Duncan outside, switched off to Skeet. Hurt now. Hurt's on the other side. He can't get that one to drop, though, and Hinkle's going to grab the rebound for St. John's. Hinkle for Brodus now. Brodus will bring the ball up to four. Here's Brodus. Brodus thought about shooting momentarily. Brodus going to try to drive the lane. Brodus gets it to fall, and he draws the foul. Rashawn Brodus cleared the track. Here comes Shaq, and there's Rashawn Brodus going down the lane, and he's going to get the opportunity to put St. John's in the lead from the foul line with 45 seconds left in this opening half. And there it is, the Edge, 54, Kitchener-Waterloo, 53. Good run here by St. John's. Duncan now. Duncan up top, switches off. Glaze has got to find his man Rogers down below. Skeets back on Duncan. Here's Hurt up top. Hurt trying to get it out of his hands. He don't want to carry it. He wants it to Duncan. Hurt tries a penetration. Can't go anywhere there. Rogers double teamed up top. Hurt. His shot is contested. That's a good shot there. You got to give credit to Justin Hurt on that one. He had Desmond Lee all over him, but he still makes the shot. Final shot of the half. Going to fall to the Edge here. 7 seconds left. Brodus once again penetrates the lane, kicks it to the outside. Hinkle, fake shot, up, over, can't get it to drop. Grandy Glaze, though, at the rebound, but the referees say the buzzer was gone. Oh, my goodness, listen to the crowd here. Unfortunately for the crowd, there's only one opinion that counts, and that's the official. But I tell you what, that's a great effort by Grandy Glaze at the buzzer. Nonetheless, at the half, Kitchener-Waterloo Titans 55, St. John's Edge 54. Buckle up, folks. We got a great one here tonight. We'll be back for the call of the second half.
Happy 12th birthday to Owen O'Driscoll. And welcome to the Mount Pearl Minor Basketball Boys Under 11 team. Fans vote on the top 10 finalists. Voting goes from January 15th to the 28th. Keep an eye to the Paradise Warriors on social media for details. Basketball coaches and fans, keep watching the Edge website and social media channels for information regarding an upcoming St. John's Edge coaching clinic. If you are an experienced coach or someone looking to get involved with the game, this clinic will have something for everyone. The St. John's Edge coaching clinic, coming soon. There's no home court on Mile One Center, and the St. John's Edge let you experience the NBL Canada like never before. Make yourself part of the team. There are single game, 5 and 10 game package options available. Call 576-7657 or visit sjedge.ca to get your tickets now. The St. John's Edge would like to send out a special thank you to our major partners: St. Anthony Basketball, The Telegram, Coastal Dance Company, Nutrilon, Core Insight, and the Energy Company. Looking to get your group down to the St. John's Edge game? Be sure to check out our special group sale rates. Head on over to our Facebook page for more details or give us a call at 722-2195. Do you love St. John's Edge basketball? That's right, there's an app for that. Log on to the Apple or Android store and download the St. John's Edge app. You'll get the latest stats,
Second half underway. St. John's down by 6 to the Kitchener-Waterloo Titans. Grandy Glaze with the ball. Got a little bit of a special treat here up in the press box to start the second half. Two very special guests. First, we've got the Mayor of St. John's, His Worship, Mr. Danny Breen. I'm having a little difficulty with his worship part.
I liked hearing you say it, Steve.
Danny and I go back a long ways. Danny, talk a little bit about the Edge, and obviously Mile 1, a beautiful building. Saturday night, big crowd on hand. Got to be a little bit of pop, little things happening downtown. Talk a little bit about what the Edge bring to the city.
It's just fantastic. I mean, if you look at the crowd in the building tonight and the young people here and, you know, just everybody upbeat, having a great time. The thing about basketball, it's so fast-paced. The crowd is into it. The crowd is really getting the hang of the subtleties of the game. And it's great for the downtown and great for the city.
You know me, there's probably no bigger hockey guy around than me, but I tell you what, basketball fever is gripping St. John's, and I think the key, what you said, is the kids. It's the game. The kids are really into it, and there's not too many kids forking out 10, 20 bucks out of their pocket. Mom and dad are pretty close behind with the wallet, so, you know, financially, I guess, and just from a feel-good part, a family night out.
Well, look, it's great, and I mean, I'm a big hockey fan too, but I'm a big, like you, I think I'm a big sports fan, so I like any kind of event like this, but when you come down and it's a great priced entertainment, the kids love it, the kids add the excitement, I think, to the building, and it's just great to see the building alive and the downtown being alive. And it's quick, it's fast, it's just a very enjoyable night out.
So no doubt City Hall has to be pleased with Mr. Simon and the Edge staff and what they're doing so far for the city, and really came together quickly. I mean, full marks. I called Trevor Murphy Jackie Moon. Full marks to those guys too. And from your perspective, what's it been like working with those guys?
Well, just look here. I mean, it's only the 8th home game, and look at the way things are operating here. It just shows the class operation that we have here. Trevor's been a great in this job in past capacities, and he's experienced, and he knows what it takes to put this product out there for us. So it's good for the city. We just wanted to make sure that that everything worked well, and we knew when we saw the people involved that it was going to be well done.
The Edge having some trouble here with the offensive boards. Can't get the rebounds there. They'll get the call. The official ball's going to go the Edge's way. 63-59, Edge down by 4. Danny, always great to have a local boy in the lineup too. Hey, never hurts. Carl English.
Well, it's fantastic. I mean, if you look at Carl English and look at his career, and being able to come home and take part in this is just super. And you gotta feel not only great for Carl but for the English family to be able to share in this excitement with the people of St. John's.
I tell you what, all of us townies have never heard Telepatrick's Cove so much until this basketball team came here.
But we all knew about that basketball net.
We all knew about that net.
It's a big part of Newfoundland culture and folklore right now.
That is stuff of legend for sure. Alex Johnson going to bring the ball back up for St. John's. Hinkle's holding a hot hand for the Edge here tonight. 4-point ball game here right now. Hinkle, shot, can't get that one to drop though. That was a tough shot for Charles. 8:44 left to go. Danny, just your final thoughts on, and I know it's tough to answer, so I'm not going to put you on the spot, but how much does it mean just to have a pro sports franchise here? I know there's talk about hockey or soccer or whatnot, but it's got to mean something to the building and the city to be proud of having a franchise.
It means something to the city, it means something to the building, it means something for people on a Saturday night to be able to get out and have a nice evening's family entertainment downtown in a beautiful building. It's also important for the city in terms of economic development, Steve, because you know, when we're attracting business here and we want people and employees to move here, we have to be able to provide them with some of the amenities that they get in other cities. And professional sports, theater, and the arts that we're so rich in is a big part of that. So it just adds to the whole complement of what we offer here in St. John's.
So there you go, right from the mayor's mouth there. The Edge quickly becoming woven into the fabric of the city of St. John's. Great to see you, Danny. Great. Thanks for taking the time to join us here on the broadcast.
Thanks, Steve. Great seeing you again.
That's Mayor Danny Breen from the city of St. John's, and we see the Edge come back. They're within 3 right now. Ahmad Sparks going to take it up the floor here for Kitchener-Waterloo. For Hurt. Hurt going to kick it out for Bird. Now join us. We got a really special treat here for you right now. One of the owners of the Edge, Mr. Irwin Simon, flying into St. John's to take in his team's action tonight. Irwin's going to join us in the booth. Irwin, thanks for taking the time to visit us up here in the booth.
Thank you very much for having me. You know, what a great view.
I got the best seat in the house, my friend.
I know. I hope you're paying for them.
I pay in some ways you don't understand when I get it home.
Okay,
let me tell you that.
Okay.
7 minutes left to go. Kitchener-Waterloo up by 5. Irwin Simon, just want to talk about, and let me be the first to publicly on our ear, just say thank you. Bringing basketball to the city, St. John's, and the province of Newfoundland and Labrador. Listen, I am probably the biggest hockey guy around, but I'm quickly starting to almost not like hockey. This basketball, what a game.
So number one is, you got to remember there's so many people that had so much to do with bringing basketball to, St. John's. And, it's just not about writing checks. It's building the infrastructure, recruiting the team, getting the coaching staff, getting, the training staff. And then last but not least, getting Carl English, working with the city, working with, the whole St. John's, exchange that runs this, working with the mayor and his team. So far, we've had in 8 games, 25,000, spectators that have come here. Today, is a Saturday night, and normally if the Edge weren't playing tonight, this building would be dark. And after this game, there's 4,300 people, and maybe there's 45, 40, whatever with people working here. They will go out into the city tonight. I try to get a reservation at restaurants, and they're packed. And I think it's great for the city. And again, I come back and I'm real proud of the record. Here we are, an expansion team. Right now we're 10-5. We have, I think, 24 games left, and we have another 16 games left here. So it's exciting. And again, it's nice to watch, this fans here understanding basketball and screaming defense and, really understanding the game. And for me to come here and watch it, and I've gone to many games at Madison Square Garden, I got to tell you something, I feel great here, and I'm enjoying this, more than watching the Knicks.
That's something to be said there for sure. City St. John's, probably known as a sports town in Canada for sure. I don't know how much we were known as a basketball town or not. There was lots of basketball being played in Newfoundland and Labrador, but these fans, they have embraced this ball club. It's almost something special to see on a nightly basis.
So, when I walked in here tonight, and it was amazing how many, spectators and fans were lined up at the store to buy jerseys and hats and et cetera, and merchandise. And again, I think, listen, hockey is everywhere. And if you come back and really think about it, you look at the Toronto Raptors and think of the support the Raptors have and how well they had, how well they're getting spectators. So why not, bring basketball to St. John's? And, I think hockey has been here a long time, and hockey has had its ups and downs, but hockey, ultimately will come back here one day. But the big thing is here, what's more important is this here, we have an incredible place in Mile 1. How do we fill this? How do we get, members of the community out on a Saturday night as a community enjoying something? And, it's not expensive tickets. There's some good food here. And, to come here with your family and friends and have a great Saturday night is pretty exciting.
You make a really good point there about community. This product we have here to St. John's Edge, it is a family atmosphere. You talk about the Raptors and maybe NHL hockey, even the old American Hockey League here. It's got to be expensive for a family of 4 to go out for a night's entertainment. This here can't be beat.
Well, that's, one of the things why I am excited to be involved in the Canadian National Hockey, Canadian Basketball League. You know, I am a season seat holder for the Knicks, and I wouldn't even tell you what my price of my seats are. And I got to tell you something. I'm sitting here tonight enjoying this a lot, better than I would be sitting watching a Knick game. The other thing is the energy and the vibe in the building is tremendous. And again, just think what the city of St. John has done in a short period of time, along with our ownership team, to bring this. Just think, and as I was joking before, Deshana, who runs this, just think when we really know what we're doing, what can ultimately happen here.
Well, as an outsider, I guess, on the little bit, I'm not involved in the day-to-day operation. I come up, I do my thing for you here. You can see every home game, things are a little better. It's always improvement. The product's always evolving. I cannot believe what a job the basketball operations staff have done from the coaching perspective, recruiting players. Trevor, Jackie Moon Murphy running the show up top. They've got it going on, Erwin.
Well, number one, the whole team and what they put together and come to work every day. So just in one of these days, what you should do is how we transform this place. So when we were putting this together, they didn't know what it was to put down a basketball floor. The first opening game, we couldn't get the clock working, and there was nothing wrong with the clock. They just didn't realize the timer and the shot clock were not synced, and here we are, we had a 45-minute delay. The good news is we sold a lot of beer. So, with that, every game and 24 hours before a game, they put this floor down, and this is a brand new floor. Basketball has never been played here. So building this out in a short period of time is just amazing. And, here we are seeing the Edge up 69, 67. And again, you think about it, I mean, this team has only played together 15 games, and they were off, almost 3 weeks over the Christmas break. So to be able to see this, I just can't commend you guys enough, the whole, city enough of where it is today.
Well, there's certainly one direction for this team to go in all aspects, and that is up, and they're doing very well right now, both operationally and obviously the product on the court. I want to talk a little bit about that product. Whoever's recruiting these guys, and I'm sure it's probably a combination of staff, the coach. I'm going to make a guess. Carl English probably got a little bit of say in who's coming in or making some connections for you guys as well, but just one word, Erwin. Wow.
So, listen, Carl is a player, a leader. He has a lot of relationships in the basketball world. We have an incredible coach in Coach Dunlop. And I get to talk to him on a regular basis. He has relationships, in the U.S. Carl has tremendous relationships in Canada in regards to recruiting. And I will tell you, ownership will support those guys. Ownership will invest in a team. And this is not about, just this first year and, God willing, winning the championship or at least getting to the playoffs. It's what we need to build over the next 5 years, and every game we come to, see these stands filled. And, listen, the greatest thing it would be this year to win a championship. It would be great, first of all, to make the first round of the playoffs, which is 3 out of 5, 4 out of 7. If we did make the second round, potentially we would play London, which, won it all last year. So, we got some, our eyes on some big sites out there. But the big thing is this here, and what everybody here deserves is a great product and a winning team. And when you put a winning team on the floor, you're going to be able to fill up these stands.
As a resident of St. John's and just a fan of sports in general, I'm excited. There's one word. I've met you about 4 minutes ago, and it's apparent to me, and it all comes from the top, and you guys are the top. It's passion. You can tell you're passionate about what you do. You want this team to be successful. That goes on down the line, and you can tell that these guys are doing things right. So just on behalf, I guess, of the city of St. John's, a big thanks to you and your group for making this happen. And you can tell it's a success, and it's going to get better. And you mentioned league championship. Hey, everybody loves a winner.
Well, I come back on passion, and again, you know, if you go see the play, and I have come from away, and you can come back and talk about St. John's, and you talk about the people, the fun, and the excitement here. But, you know, it's not about an individual, it's about a community. And that's what I think the biggest thing that happens in St. John's. It is a community, and it built around a community. The team is built around support. You know, the fans are built around a community. And as we pull together this community, I'm going to tell you something. We're going to put out there a championship team, and we're going to have some fun with it. And the big thing is how we give back to this community.
Well, there you go, folks. You're hearing it right from the top. They're not here to have fun. They're not here to give it the old college try. They're here to do their best to put a championship quality club on the floor and bring a championship to you folks here in St. John's. I don't.
Thank you
if
so
I'm
much.
wrong, don't let me paraphrase.
No, exactly.
That's what I got out
but
of that.
that's what I mean. You know, we want to be winners, and St. John only deserves winners and nothing else. And that there's no plan B. There's only plan A, and that's the win.
So there you go, folks. Right from the top, owner of the St. John's Edge, Mr. Irwin Simon. Thank you very much for taking some time to speak with us. You must be bringing the team luck. We were down by 5 there a few minutes ago. St. John's just grabbing their first lead in quite some while. Pretty good defense from the outside. That's a great shot from Bird there to take the lead back for Kitchener-Waterloo. 2:30 left to go. Kitchener-Waterloo 75, St. John's 74. Tyler Haas getting ready to check in the game. Speaking of recruiting and that, my goodness, this guy Haas, he can shoot the lights out.
Oh, man.
Wow.
And listen, I come back and I look at a lot of these players. You know, I don't know if the NBA is looking at them, but there's a few of them here that absolutely could get recruited up.
This team will certainly be entertaining on the floor, in the press box, and all around. Irwin Simon, thanks for your time.
Hey, thank you so much.
Appreciate
It's great
you.
to be up here. Thank
Enjoy
you.
your stay.
And I look forward to seeing you guys again.
All right. 75-74, Kitchener-Waterloo. At the line for St. John's is Wally Ellenson. Ellenson can't get that ball to drop. He'll have an opportunity to tie the game from the foul line for St. John's. Ellenson does indeed tie it up. Ball brought down the floor. Here's Morrow. Morrow pulls up just outside the foul line. Jarian Henry's going to come up and pull that one down for the Edge. Ellenson out for Brodus. Brodus shot from three-point land. Big rebound there. That one goes off Rogers, and St. John's are going to keep possession. They will get a new shot clock. 1:55 left to go. Knotted up at 75 here in the third quarter. Once again, great game here tonight at Mile One Center. Brodus drives through. He steps out of bounds, though. Coach, my goodness, the Coach Dunlap has gone right down by the basket. Talked to the official on that one. I love these coaches. They're passionate. They're animated. Both squads really trying to get every ounce out of their players here tonight. Hurt for Morrow. Morrow kicks it over for Derek Hall. Hall guarded by Big Bemprong on the outside. He's going to put it in now for Rogers. Rogers tries to spin around Henry. Henry, good defense there. And he just strips the ball from their hands. Wally Ellison finishes. Looked like it was going to be a slam, but it manages to fall. St. John's with a 2-point lead. Hurt driving down. Bemprong in for a big block for Bemprong. Henry down the floor. He's fouled. Jarian Henry, he was going to drive it down the throat of Kitchener-Waterloo in that one, and he had to be fouled. St. John's, a little bit of momentum on their side here with 1:09 left to go. St. John's will inbound the ball. Neither team in the bonus situation yet. 1:09 left to go. Not many fouls, so lots to give here for both squads. Alex Johnson checks back into the game. Johnson kicks it out for Haas. Haas on the open side, goes off the pick of Ransford Bemprong. And he drops the three-point play for the Edge. Hall on the inside. Hall is double teamed right away. Here's a shot. Rebound grabbed by Henry. Henry puts the ball to the floor right away, but he turns it over to Hall. Back down the floor for Starks. Rogers. He is uncontested underneath. And St. John's got beat in transition on that one. Here's Johnson now. Johnson puts the ball down to the floor. Alex Johnson. He's up top looking for Haas. Haas got upended underneath. Johnson's going to take the short range jumper himself. Ellenson comes in and grabs the rebound. Second opportunity here for the Edge. Johnson stops, settle things down up top. Only 5 seconds left to go. Johnson brings it to the rack. Blocked by Rogers at the end. Buzzer goes, long attempt there. That's going to draw iron. Good defense there by Kitchener-Waterloo at the end of the third quarter. St. John's leads 79-77. We'll be right back. Fourth quarter underway. St. John's up by 2. A back and forth affair here all night long. Hawes, his shot is a little bit short there for St. John's. Duncan's checked back into the game here now for Kitchener-Waterloo. He's going to bring it down the floor for the Titans. Duncan outside for Hall. Hall, pass intercepted by Jarian Henry. Jarian Henry causes the steal. He's going to put it into the hands of Johnson. Johnson down the floor. Hinkle, open look for 3. Charles Hinkle drops in another one from long distance. Hinkle leading all scorers in this one. He's 6 for 9 from three-point land. Kitchener-Waterloo, Duncan in for Morrow. Morrow steps out behind the line, thinks about shooting momentarily, going to move it out for Sutherland instead. Sutherland picking low, that's stolen by Johnson. Here comes Superman in and off the glass, and Alex Johnson takes the easy layup for Kitchener-Waterloo. Big crowd on hand here at Mile 1, and we see Harry and Lloyd from Dumb and Dumber. It looks like Harry Dunn and Lloyd Christmas making into the appearance here at Mile 1 tonight. And from what I'm being told, folks, these two gentlemen have come from Kitchener to watch the game. Kitchener, the fashion capital of Canada. And you know, something great to see the guys out having a good time. What else you going to do on a Saturday night in St. John's? Put on your Christmas best attire and let her go. Welcome to St. John's, boys. Hope you have a great night. 84-77, St. John's edge over to Kitchener-Waterloo Titans. 10:55 left to go. Just a reminder to everybody, you haven't heard me call the leading scorer for the Edge's name, Carl English's name tonight. There's a reason for that. He's not playing. English suffering an upper body injury last night and drawing out of the lineup for this one tonight. Charles Hinkle certainly stepping up offensively for the Edge, leading all scorers with 23 points. Derek Hall backs up Henry. Hall goes with the sky hook and puts it down. Johnson now to pick it up. Here comes Johnson. Johnson down the floor for St. John's. Johnson's going to put it in for Jerry and Henry. Henry waiting on the outside. Kicks it across for Ellenson. Ellenson. Long swooping three-point play there for Wally Ellenson. Puts St. John's back up by 8. Bird, he takes a shot from beyond the arc. That one's nowhere near hitting. Rebound grabbed by Ellenson. He's going to put it into the hands of Johnson. Johnson nonchalantly coming down the floor with the ball. Kicks it out for Hinkle. Hinkle wide open to the corner for Tyler Haas. Haas couldn't get that one to drop, though. And this Mile 1 center might have erupted if he had to hit that one. Here's Bird now. Bird for Hall. Hall to Duncan. Duncan trying to use the big man out high for a pick. Morrow's going to take a long three-point attempt. That one doesn't fly. Hall, big rebound there, kicks it outside for Duncan. All of a sudden, the Kitchener-Waterloo shooters drawn a little cold here, and St. John's with a chance to add to their lead. Johnson out for Henry. Jerry and Henry with a three-point, and the big guy, Jerry and Jackpot Henry, drops one from three-point land. Here's Morrow. Morrow spins outside for Hall. Derek Hall with a three-point shot. And the big guy showing he can do it. Henry and Hall guarding each other. Anything you can do, I can do better. The two big guys challenge each other from the outside. Henry drives down low. Henry's fouled from behind. And Henry's going to get to go to the line to have a couple of free throws with his team up by 8.
Substitution for the Titans, number 24, Justin Bird. Personal foul on number 35 of the Titans, Derek Hall. He is third. The Titans' first foul in the fourth quarter.
Hinkle now. Hinkle trying to spin off the guarding of Bird. Hinkle gets one to draw the iron. Can't get it to fall, though. Back comes Duncan for Kitchener-Waterloo. Duncan in for Sutherland. Sutherland kicks it outside for Bird. Bird guarded by Hinkle. Sutherland on the outside. Ellenson a little late getting there. Sutherland throwing his hands up in the air like he was shot. Come on, big fella. You're not drawing the foul call that easily. Here's Johnson. Johnson for Henry. Henry guarded by Hall up top. Henry going to step back. Still picks up the dribble for St. John's. Henry now gets it to Johnson. Shot clock to 5. Johnson in for Henry. Henry on the hoop. Henry asking where the foul was. That's good defense by Hall. Johnson forced a foul up top. Didn't want to give up the open shot to Sutherland. That's not a bad foul by Alex Johnson there at all. 8:09 left to go in this fourth quarter. St. John's lead 90-82. Jerry and Henry's going to come out of the game. Desmond Lee checking in. And Wally Ellenson is out now, and Grandy Glaze coming back in off the bench for St. John's. Bird puts it down to the floor. Can't elude Hinkle. Bird switches off to the corner. Bird with an open look from the side. Makes the shot for 3. Good switch there. Tyler Haas just couldn't get to him in time. Hinkle controlling the ball up top. This is a look we haven't seen very often. Johnson down low. Hinkle up top. Out for Haas. Now the ball eventually finds the hands of Alex Johnson. Here's Johnson now. Johnson, wide open look for three. Johnson can't get the foul. Glaze, though, good position for the rebound. And nice boards there by Grandy Glaze. Johnson in for Hinkle. Hinkle turns, spins, fires, and drops the basket for the Edge. St. John's 92, Kitchener-Waterloo 85. Fans getting treated to a dandy here tonight. Real pleasure to speak with St. John's Mayor Danny Breen and the St. John's Edge owner, Mr. Irwin Simon. St. John's getting basketball fever here at Mile 1. Johnson puts it down the outside for Hinkle. Hinkle, wide open look. Charles Hinkle is not the man to leave open tonight, because someone is going to be going to the Brookfield Fire Station later on. This man is on fire for St. John's. Duncan out for Rogers. That's Hurt. Hurt puts the ball to the floor, guarded by Desmond Lee. Hurt up, catches the back of the iron. Desmond Lee is going to grab that rebound for St. John's. Charles Hinkle, 31 points for St. John's, and he's 7 of 10 from three-point land. Here's Lee now. Lee down for Johnson. No doubt Johnson looking to find Hinkle again. Johnson drives the lane. No penetration there, though. Big Derek Hall is in the way. Hinkle, that's a hard foul up top on Duncan. Hinkle knew his teammates were outnumbered down below. Once again, you've only had one team foul here in the fourth. Not a bad foul to take for Hinkle, and that's his first of the game. Ten-point lead here for the Edge. Timeout call by London, 5:59 left to go. Good effort here by the London Knights. The Kitchener-Waterloo Titans really bounced back. Last night they controlled a lot of the game last night. The Edge put together a good, strong second half, and tonight it's been back and forth all night long. Good on both teams, providing quality entertainment here in the NBL at St. John's. We'll be back after the timeout. Just checking in on Twitter, my buddy Jason Rice letting me know those two are the Harry and Lloyd, the Dumb and Dumber costumes there. Regular fixtures of courtside seats of Kitchener-Waterloo games. And I think he's saying also nice scheduling as these teams playing here in a school day game on Tuesday. Yeah, I bet. The schedule was a challenge, though, for the league. I mean, the Edge coming in late, so it is what it is. What's the old expression? We can't cry over spilled milk over that stuff. The Edge, really, this fourth game at their homestand here, they had 34 days in between trips to Mile 1. And I'm sure something next year that will be straightened away by the league and the teams. All the same, everybody impressed with the action. Kitchener-Waterloo putting in a good effort here tonight. Can't find an answer for Charles Hinkle Hoops Hinkle, though, so far in this one. Here's Bird. Bird up top. That one falls off the edge. Ball goes out of bounds, and St. John's will take the ball. St. John's opportunity to open up their biggest lead of the game. Shout out to Scott Knoftel from NLBT out in Corner Brook at the Provincials this weekend. He's out there with my buddy, the Professor Doug Partridge. Scott watching the webcast online. Good to hear from you, Scotty. And Scott does some work with the Edge here as well. Here's Des Lee. Lee with a wonderful spin move there. That was like Michael Jackson in the 80s. My goodness. Des Lee, that's the hockey equivalent of deking a guy out of his drawers there. Desmond Lee spins it up off the basket. 5:04 left to go. St. John's up by a dozen now. St. John's now transition down the floor. Rashawn Brodus. Brodus, I don't know how he manages to put that up. Brodus letting the official know he thought there should have been a foul there. The other team was saying, boy, I thought he sort of took 50,000 steps on the way into the hoop. So sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't. Nonetheless, Brodus does manage to get it to drop. Rashawn Brodus must have played a lot of pool in his day, because he's certainly putting some English on that ball up in the glass. And we're not talking English of the Patrick Scoe variety either. 4:45 left to go, 99-85 St. John's. If you like scoring, Mile 1 the place to be, 100 points. That's nothing for these guys. Over for Sutherland. Sutherland tries to penetrate, going to kick it out for Hall, and the big guy Hall doing his thing again for the Kitchener-Waterloo Titans. Derek Hall leading them with 20 points in this one. Brodus puts it down for Hinkle. Hinkle guarded by Ahmad Starks now. Hinkle steps away and steps up. Can't get that one dropped. There's a rare miss from Charles Hinkle on the outside. Starks, long three-point attempt, and that is what the Titans are going to need to hang around and stay within in this one. Timeout. Call from St. John's. 3:55 left to go. Edge lead, 99-90. St. John's with possession now. They're going to put on the floor Jarian Henry, Rashawn Brodus, Randy Glaze, Desmond Lee, and Charles Hinkle in this last 4 minutes of this one. Here's Brodus. Brodus on the floor. Hinkle having a battle down low there with Sutherland. Hinkle comes off a double screen. Hinkle harassed though in that shot. Couldn't get it to drop. Long attempt down the floor. Here's Hurt. Hurt catches, shoots. Hurt is drawn up short. Looked like he got hurt on that release. Starks though. Starks picks up the rebound and he drops it. Ahmad Starks, he's been the weapon tonight for the Kitchener-Waterloo Titans. Brodus. Brodus, a little stutter step move. Brodus, though, is going to be called on the charge there. Good defense by Starks, doing it on both ends. Fans don't like the call on that one, but I call it like I see it, folks. I think that was a good call by the official there as Starks got his feet set and Brodus was committed. 6-point game now, possession to the Titans. Brodus checks out, and we'll see Johnson check back in for him. Starks over half court now. Hall will come out, traditionally set that pick. Tries the pick and roll play down for Hall. Not there on the outside. Going to go to Sutherland. St. John's doing a good job trying to take Hall out. Sutherland, open look from the outside. Can't get it to drop though. And Desmond Lee grabs the rebound for St. John's. St. John's, looks to me from up here, they're saying, you're not going to beat us tonight, Derek Hall. If it's going to be someone else, we'll give you that shot from the outside, but we're not allowing the big man to get a touch down around the paint. Johnson kicks it in down low for Glaze. Glaze up off the glass. Nice feed from Johnson, and Grandy Glaze goes up and under for the hoop. Duncan now. Duncan with the ball. Duncan up top. Out for Starks. Starks guarded by Des Lee. Grandy Glaze, good interception there by Glaze. Moves it over for Johnson. Big steal there by St. John's. Real big possession here for Kitchener-Waterloo. They need a stop here for sure. Lee. St. John's going to work some time off the shot clock. Shot clock approaching 5. Jerry and Henry outside for Johnson. Johnson lays it up to the basket. He'll be fouled from behind. Johnson will go to the line and shoot 2 with 1:49 left to go. St. John's up by 8. $103.96. Superman Johnson, $1:30 left to go here in the game. Johnson settling things down. St. John's working the clock to their advantage right now. Johnson out for Henry. Henry had Lee coming around the side. Johnson staying up top. Johnson harassed there by Hall. Hall looks at the official when the whistle blows, but big fella got to take that foul here. I've seen guys thrown in jail for doing less than that. Wow. 1:21 left to go. 103.96. Jerry and Henry now going to put the ball into on the inbounds. It's it out for Hinkle. Hinkle's going to put it back into the hands of Alex Johnson. That's who they want controlling the ball up top for sure. Johnson spins around. Penetration pass for Henry. Not sure we got the foul there. I think that one's going to go against Hurt for a hold. Henry was trying to spin off the pick and roll down low, and it was gone against Hall instead. Derek Howell picks up his 3rd foul of the game. Tyler Haas outside for Lee. Shot clock under 10 now. Here's Johnson. Johnson, he's got the lane and the penetration, and Alex Superman Johnson dons the red cape one more time here for the Edge tonight. Quick foul there by Desmond Lee. Player going to the floor. That is the, I believe, 6th-team foul for the Edge. So not in a shooting situation yet. Kitchener-Waterloo, no doubt, need a quick strike here off this inbounds. Stark's going to put it in for Hall. Hall for Hurt. Hurt stripped in the paint, though, by Hinkle, but the referee says he got a little bit of yarn on it. Foul's going to go against Hinkle. Hoops there. And to the line goes Justin Hurt. And that is the only way that the Titans can come in here. They can stop the clock and score points. That's the way to call claw back. They're down by 9 though right now. Chance to cut it to 7 from the charity stripe. And you can tell by the ovation from the crowd, there's a miss from the line by Hurt. Hurt's doing the old practice lot. The fans are into it here tonight. Hurt digs in, takes his second shot, and he is way short. He knew it as soon as the ball left his hand. He left the line, launched in for the rebound. Rebound grabbed by Desmond Lee. Lee holds on, puts the ball in Johnson's hand. If they're going to foul, that's who St. John's want them to foul, is Alex Johnson. Johnson in for Henry. Henry up top. Henry shot clock down to 10. St. John's doing a masterful job of working the clock here at the end of this game. Jerry and Henry drives through to the hoop. A blocking call called. Not sure if he's going to go to the line or not. 29 seconds left to go. St. John's ball. You got to think a score here. If the game's not already over, a score here should do it for the Edge. Edge looking to move into first place in the NBL standings. Johnson up top. Shot clock reset to 14 now. Johnson's under 10. Johnson grabbed hold of there by Starks. Had no choice but the foul. And Alex Johnson with a chance to put a little icing on the cake here for St. John's. Just under 24 seconds left to go. St. John's looking to move to an impressive 7-1 in the cozy confines of Mile 1 Center here in St. John's, Newfoundland. Henry tried to knock the ball back in off Hall. We thought he was going to the line. He didn't. There's a big three-point shot there by Starks. 6-point game. Kitchener-Waterloo need a steal here right away. Johnson takes it. Johnson's going to hold on. Puts it back to Hinkle. Johnson takes the foul, and that will put Johnson to the line as they're in the bonus now. 6-point lead, 2-possession game, and the shot here by Johnson will put it away to turn it a 3-possession game with 12 seconds left. Shouldn't say never, but I tell you what, it's I'll be very surprised. Let's leave it at that. Johnson sinks it from the line to indeed make it the 3-point game. So St. John's record going to improve to 11-5. That's going to tie them with the London Lightning for first place overall in the league. Just checking the schedule here. The London Lightning, first place, tied with St. John's. The Moncton Magic, they have an opportunity to move in the first place as well with the win. And Moncton beating the Windsor Express last night. Tonight, they're tangling with the first place London Lightning, so could be a log jam at the top if Moncton pull off a win. Next team you'll see here at Mile 1 will be the Moncton Magic. January 31st, February 1st. I'm going to have my buddy George Scott on the call for that one, as another commitment's going to take me away from the mic that night. But folks, I will be back in a big way. Wouldn't miss it for the world. St. John's, after they play Moncton in early February, will be tangling with the Windsor Express again here at Mile 1 on the 6th, 7th. Next 4 home games for St. John's. 2nd and 3rd, Friday and Saturday versus the Magic. And then they'll tangle Windsor on Tuesday and Wednesday, the 6th and 7th of February. And we'll have the call for you. Good game here tonight. Great effort by the St. John's Edge without their leading scorer, Carl English. A total team effort tonight. And Charles Hinkle Hoops Hinkle leading the way offensively for the Edge here in this one. But they've got contributions all around here tonight. 4 players in double digits and a couple just next to it. Starks throws up a Hail Mary shot. Des Lee's going to hold it on. Lee fouled at the end, and Sutherland just smiles it off. Buzzer's going to go. Referee will report the foul. Waiting to see if they're going to make Lee go to the line or not. Lee is still on the floor. We're hoping he's not hurt. My goodness. Took a bit of a knock there. That's a needless foul at the end of the game, though. Lee is in a little bit of discomfort. Trainer goes up to see him. All is well, though. And that one is in the books. St. John's 7-1 at home. The Edge final 107. Kitchener-Waterloo Titans 99. I'm Steve Power, folks. For all the crew here at Mile 1, have a great evening.